when I first watched The Silence of the Lambs, I completely fell in love with Hannibal Lecter as a character. I believe it was my introduction to Anthony Hopkins. Just completely fell in love. Obviously was very excited to watch Hannibal, which is the 2001 film directed by Ridley Scott. Wasn't sure how I'd find it, particularly as Clarice Starling was played by a different actress, but it just so happens to be one of my favourite actresses of all time, Julianne Moore. I gave it a go. I have given it several goes since then, and every time I've loved it. It is a brilliant film. It's not as good as Silence of the Lambs. I think I prefer Red Dragon to this one as well, but it's still really good. So the description from IMDb reads as follows. Living in exile, Dr. Hannibal Lecter tries to reconnect with now disgraced FBI agent Clarice Starling and finds himself a target for revenge from a powerful victim. I should say there probably will be some spoilers in this film for the first film if you haven't seen it, but I'll try not to give anything away. So, unusually for me, I actually prefer the first Clarice Starling just because I'm so used to Jodie Foster in that role. I'd seen that film several times before I saw this one. And that doesn't take away from the fact that Julianne Moore is actually really brilliant as Clarice Starling. I love her. Fantastic actress, really good in this role, just not, my Clarice Starling, as it were. The fact that Lecter has a victim who is seeking revenge is brilliant. Completely understandable as well. If somebody tries to cannibalise you, you are going to try and seek revenge if you survive. Gary Oldman plays Mason, and I love him. He's an unpredictable character. He is full of suspense and mystery, and that's exactly what I'd want for this kind of narrative. Obviously, Hannibal is still a driving force, and Anthony Hopkins is still absolutely fantastic. I still think that this character is brilliant and full of mystery, even though we're several films in now. We know quite a lot about him as a character. He's so complicated and complex, and he's just an absolute joy to watch. Hopkins, whenever he performs as Hannibal Lecter, I'm glued to the screen. I can't take my eyes away from him, and that's absolutely the case with Hannibal as well. The narrative develops really well. It's not that predictable, which is something that I really enjoy. It's quite atmospheric, quite dark. Some of the, the locations and the settings didn't really do much for me. It didn't quite have the atmosphere that I was looking for. For example, the atmosphere in Silence of the Lambs is spot on. This one's a little bit more open and, I guess, experimental in a way to see what Hannibal is like in different environments, particularly as he is living in exile. But it is really good. If you're a fan of the Hannibal films before this, then you will love this. You will really enjoy it. As I said, I think I have to go Silence of the Lambs for Red Dragon and then this one. But it doesn't detract from how great it is. If you're a Hannibal fan, give it a watch. Please don't watch this, though, before you've watched the others, because it will certainly spoil things. And as I said, I don't think it's quite as good. So I don't want it to kind of jade your opinion of the first ones before you've even had a chance to see them. Either way, the 2001 Hannibal, still pretty delicious.